So,
did you ever ask her, why didn't you call the police? I mean,
this is, again, going back to she was told explicitly not to because it was being held over her head, that Kaylee could be hurt, that, myself or my father or my mother, someone that she cares about could be hurt if she did.
So you never asked Casey why she was doing what she was instructed on MySpace or text message, because you just assumed it's because she feared for her life.
Yeah, she's following
your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Casey's life, and Cindy and George's life.
Kaylee's life, yes.
And Kaylee. And that is the reason you assumed that she would go, it's day 30, it's day 20,
Right, exactly.
And that's why you never asked her, why did you do this?
No. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Did you ever try to get, when you saw there was nothing on MySpace July 3rd going back, you saw there was nothing from Zenaida July 3rd going forward, did you ever try to get a hold of the text messages that were going, and I'm sure you did, going back and forth between her and Zenaida Gonzalez?
Yeah, I mean, I had her phone records for a while, probably dating back into May and June, all the way through, when she was arrested in July. And actually, I may even had him prior to that. And, there's still a lot of phone numbers to this day where I still don't know who owns the phone number.
Were you able to ever look and read any of the text going back and forth?
No, you know what? I've never had the text content. I know the numbers that were texted, and the frequency and the time and all that stuff. I've never seen the I would love to see the content. Law enforcement's never shared that with me, and I've asked.
Did you try to get the content?
Yeah, I've asked for that repeatedly. We've asked for that repeatedly, and we've never gotten it. So we've always had to get it on our own. It's terrible.
All right. The night, we're jumping all over the place so we can get you out of here.
Appreciate that.
the night that you talked to her from Jackson, when she told you she was in Jacksonville.
July 3rd, yeah.
You're at the Dragon Room. And I know my sister and my family, I can tell when they're, did she seem to be under the influence or drinking or not herself?
Objection to the form. Go ahead and answer if you know.
No. That would not have been my impression at all, no.
Did she, to your knowledge, ever, did she drink? Did she drink alcohol?
She's a normal person. Me too. I mean, I will definitely have our booze. I think I've seen my sister physically drunk twice in her life. So if that helps to, let you know of how hard someone parties or something like that, it's nothing like you're, drinking yourself stupid or anything like that. That's nothing that anyone in my family does. That's just not our nature.
When you finally had the conversation or any conversations with Casey about Zenaida Gonzalez, what all did she tell you? How did she describe Zenaida Gonzalez to you?
Early 20s, 5'6", 5'7", 120 pounds, something like that. A little bit of a lighter complexion, but would get tan regularly, like would do tanning regularly. Had darker hair, typically kept it shoulder length and kind of like perm or curly. Very attractive. Even though she was 5'6", 120, 100 or so pounds, she was slender, but she was just more filled out,
When did she tell you about this? When did she describe Zenaida to you?
Actually, she described it to my folks on like a video one of the video visitations. Mm-hmm. That's when she kind of went, at length of what the description was.
Did you ask her if she had any children?
I'd never asked her that myself. Most of the stuff my folks or other people asked her, but she said that no, that Zenaida did not have any children.
She told you that?
Well, I know that was that's Casey's. She's been very consistent on that.
That's her story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That Zenaida, she does not have any children.
Did she tell you when she would speak to Zenaida on the cell phone that she got to speak to Kaylee at the same time? Would Zenaida put Kaylee on the phone?
No, not to my knowledge. No, not to my knowledge at all. I don't remember anything like that. I don't think that was the case.
Did that raise suspicions with you that maybe, wow?
Well, see, remember, a lot of when we're talking about actual physical phone call, like conversations, to my knowledge, what Casey's told me is that everything has been everything's just been done text or everything's been done, internet. Yes, she would get, she got that private call when Kaylee was on the line, but I'm really having a hard time trying to remember when Casey would have talked to Zenaida physically over the phone that I'm aware of.
How did Kaylee end up on the phone?
Dial the number and putting it right to her, putting it right to her ear.
What did she say that Kaylee said to her on the phone?
Something real short like, "Oh, hi, Mommy. I miss you." Something like that. Casey, interrupted her, as quickly as she could to say, "Kaylee put an adult on the phone." And
who said that?
Casey says, Kaylee put an adult on the phone.
Why would she say an adult? Why wouldn't she say put Zenaida on the phone?
I don't know. She's used the word adult. I mean, if Zenaida supposedly has I say supposedly because I haven't been able to find this person, has been able to have, has has siblings, has a sister that also supposedly could, this person has kids. So
Zenaida had a sister with kids?
Has a sister that has kids, two younger kids. Sorry, I forget the name now, but for all intents and purposes, that person could have been watching Kaylee at that time. I mean, who knows? So it would make sense that Casey would say the word adult instead of Zenaida, because if Zenaida's not there.
So there could have been another person there.
Sure.
In other words, maybe she wasn't speaking to Zenaida, but Zenaida's sister as well?
Sure. She could have been talking to,
Did she ever tell you she was speaking to Zenaida's sister?
Not to my knowledge.
When she told you about talking to Zenaida or an adult and talking to Kaylee at that time, when she would hang up the phone, what did she do next after having those conversations?
I guess whatever would have been normal for her. That conversation, I'm almost positive, happened earlier in the day on July 15th, which is also the day that my mom, found out where she was and, went and got Casey. So, that time frame and everything, I don't know. I don't know if she ever had a conversation with Kaylee or with any, specifically like a physical phone conversation prior to then. So, I don't, what I mean? I don't know how to.
The times that she did speak to Kaylee, what would she do after those conversations?
I've never been in the room with my sister when Kaylee wasn't there, where I would have seen that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what a typical response for her would have been because I've never been in that.
But you don't know. Did she ever tell you, look, when Zenaida had Kaylee, and I would speak to Kaylee, did you say, well, what would you do when you hung up?
No. Maybe I don't completely get your question.
I'm trying to figure out, what did Casey do
on July 15th when she got the call?
Your child's gone.
Okay.
They're giving a kind of a countdown till timer 55. She's moving from she's being instructed by text or by MySpace to move from location to location to location to location. So she's doing this. Sometimes she's actually speaking to Kaylee during this period of time.
Apparently just that time in July is the only time that I know of.
Okay, that's the only time you know of.
Yeah.
What did she do after she spoke to Kaylee that day?
I have no idea. I mean, whatever she did the day prior to that or earlier to that. I mean, I couldn't tell you. Probably try to find a way not to freak out. I have no idea.
Did she tell you how long, when she first met Zenaida Gonzalez?
I'm sorry.
What did Kate? I'm sorry.
Back to the form.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. If you just rephrase.
Yeah, sorry.
When you first sat down with Casey and started saying, all right, let's talk about,
Right.
the Zenaida Gonzalez story. Let's call this the Zenaida Gonzalez story. Did she tell you when she first met Zenaida Gonzalez?
To my recollection, it would have been when when Kaylee was just maybe 6 months old or something. She met her through a mutual friend, someone that she worked with at the time, that she sat for his child. So